only way that you can change your life is by paying attention to the things that need to be changed, right? Like you can't change anything that you're not aware of. And we're going to talk about that today and how your environment triggers your awareness and how you can use your environment to your advantage. I would like to welcome you to Unleashing Happiness. I am your host, Cecilia Hendricks, and truly this podcast is designed to teach you how to realistically change your life, like how to use practical steps to make changes to your life. It'll work with your family. It'll work within your job. It'll work within the life that you actually live versus trying to do these like remarkable things that take hours that you just don't really have the time or the energy to do. Changing your life starts with one small, simple step. Literally making one choice. Seriously, one choice that you make today can completely change the path that your life is on. And you are probably making that choice by listening to this episode and saying, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to listen to this series. I'm going to listen to this content, and I'm going to make a true change in my life because I know that I deserve it and I know that I'm worth it. And let me just caveat that if you are sitting here thinking, I don't know that I'm worth it. I don't know that I care enough about myself. I want you to recognize that you are here today. You are putting in the effort to listen to this episode. So there is a spark in you that says, I really want this. I want to make sure that I'm taking better care of myself. I want to live a life that I truly enjoy. I want to learn how to love myself and how to change my own concept of myself so I can live the life that I keep dreaming of. So just know that that small spark is all you need to start, right? Changing your life can come with these huge, drastic, sweeping changes. It can be something overnight in a moment in time that you really recognize looking back on that. You say, hey, oh my gosh, I can tell that that choice that I made was pivotal to me changing the life that I was leading. But sometimes it's really in those small moments. It's in deciding that you're going to wake up and do something. It's deciding that, you know what, I'm going to listen to this episode. I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to add daily joys to my day. And we'll talk about those here in just a minute. That choice can truly change your life. So if right now you don't know that you love yourself enough, or right now you really question if you deserve it, please listen to me and know that I believe no matter where you are, what you're doing, what your past looks like, you deserve to live the life that you love. You deserve to connect with yourself. God loves you. I love you. And I have complete faith in you. So in other words, if you don't feel it yet for you, know that I do. And why don't you just do it for me then until you can show up for you? Sometimes that's kind of what it takes, right? I'm a mom and I know that some of my journey has been doing it because I wanted to be better for my children. I didn't necessarily recognize that I also wanted to be better for myself, but that spark was sitting there. I just didn't recognize it yet. But showing up for my children, showing up for my mother who I help care for, showing up for my friends and my family, that drove me. And now I know that I also want to do it for myself. I don't have to do it for everybody else. Me taking care of myself ends up taking care of everyone around me. When I'm the best version of myself, I show up as a better version to those that I love. And I know that you can do the same. So I did notice, I want to take a quick little break here real quick and just talk about a side thing that I've noticed I'm so excited about. And I just feel so much gratitude. Like it's actually making me a little teary-eyed to think about. But I went into my podcast stats and I've noticed a massive jump in listeners and people coming back in the episodes that have been listened to. And I just was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. Like, the message is getting out to other people. So if you've shared it or you've left a review or you're new to the episode or you're returning to the episode, so literally every single person that's listening right now, I want to send you my heartfelt thanks. I just appreciate you being here. I hope the information is helping you and I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I enjoy making it. I love doing this content. I love doing the podcast. I also have a YouTube channel, Unleashing Happiness, or you can look me up as Cecilia Hendricks. You can look up that as well. I've got a website with some blog posts, ceciliahendricks.com. I'm on TikTok. You can also find me on Instagram. I do post to Facebook, but really just kind of my Instagram stuff publicly. But you can find me across all of those channels. I am definitely sharing short form content across each of those channels. I do some more long form content on my YouTube channel and then of course the podcast. So if you are appreciating this content, please make sure that you go follow me on those channels as well. Just because because each one has a little bit different stuff that is done. I am ramping up my blog content because I'm super excited to announce that I have started working on my book, and it's all about realistically changing your life, right? And how you can apply all of this content, all of this information, all of these principles around the law of assumption, law of attraction, personal growth, personal development into a very practical way to actually change your life. It's remarkable the things that you can do just when you understand how your brain works, understand how your focus and attention works. You can truly make a life that you love. It is available to each and every one of us. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for listening. It was really cool to see this jump in people listening. So that was just super neat. I was like, oh, wow, this is so exciting. My followers are growing across all the channels, and it's just really fun. I feel so much gratitude. I love hearing from you. So if you ever want to reach out, please don't hesitate. The email is unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. And just so you know, real quick, because I've noticed a little bit in searches that this stuff is being spelled wrong. So spelling Cecilia is Cecilia, and Hendricks is just like Jimi Hendrix, which is Hendrix. So now I'm going to get back to talking about your habit loop, understanding how your environment really controls a lot of what you're doing without you even realizing it, and how you can make small shifts to your environment to make drastic change in your life and drastic change in the habits that you're maintaining. So I want to kick off by reminding you again that you can only change that which you are aware of, right? Unless you are aware that you want something to change, or you are aware that you're not liking the way that things are going, you'll never make the change. You have to be aware of it first. And the best way that I have become aware when I want to consciously start to look at stuff is I sit down with a piece of paper and I write out something that I would like to have happen in my life, like either a career change or making money or something in a relationship or going on a trip, whatever it is, feeling more confident. And you write out that thing that you want because you need to have an outcome. And then I start to look back at my feelings and habits that I have around that specific goal. So I'm going to use here, just for an example, finding like a love, right? So you want a relationship in your life. Now, so you write that down, you say you want to meet somebody, and then you go back and you map back the way that you talk to yourself. So you say, well, when I think about finding somebody, I think about all the ways that I cannot do it. I list out every single reason why I'm not going to meet somebody, because I don't like to stay out late at night. I like to do, XYZ, and I've never met a man who really wants to do that. So the first thing that you're becoming aware of is what your inner conversation is all about. Neville Goddard, Emmett Fox, Joseph Murphy, Carolyn Myss, tons of other teachers, right? Mystical teachers tell us that what's going on in our mind is extremely important, and it really drives a lot of the reality that we're experiencing. So if your reality that you're experiencing, the perception that you have, is why you will never have this experience, you'll never have this relationship, you'll never meet this person, your brain literally is going to make sure that it does not happen for you, or it's going to make it very difficult for it to. So when we continue to tell ourselves something over and over, your brain actually says, oh, I don't need to watch for the opportunities to meet somebody. Maybe at the grocery store, I don't need to notice that the cute clerk over there is kind of giving me the eye, or stop and say hello to them, because my brain has decided that is not important. We all have a reticular activating system in our brain. And this is how law of assumption, law of attraction, and actual science-based information about how our brain works connect, okay? So law of assumption, law of attraction says that what you pay attention to, what you give your energy to, what vibration you're at, is what you're attracting into your life. It's either what you assume is going to come, or it's what you're truly attracting into your life. Now, what science says is that our brain has like a little bouncer in it, and it's called a reticular activating system, otherwise just called RAS. So your RAS says, hey, you have told me that we're not open to the opportunity or the possibility of meeting somebody. So I'm going to shut off you even paying attention to those opportunities or those possibilities that might be available to you. It literally does not even allow you to pay attention to them. And let me explain this a little bit further. At any given time, we are being bombarded with information, right? We've got things that we're seeing, smelling, hearing, touching, feeling, all of it, right? And it's all coming at us at a very quick pace. So our brain, so that we don't get overwhelmed and overstimulated, filters things out. It's why if you say like, oh, I'm going to buy this red truck, I cannot wait, I never really see one of these, I'm going to be the only person that has it, and you start paying attention to the red truck, suddenly you're like, I'm seeing this dang red truck all over the place. It's because now your brain is saying, oh, okay, we want to pay attention to the red trucks. We like the red trucks. So we're going to look at those. Now, this is exactly what law of assumption and law of attraction tells you. It says that what you tell yourself repeatedly is what you're going to experience. It's what you're going to bring more into your reality. And our brains actually confirm this to us. So the more that you open your possibilities, the more that you open your mind to saying, yes, this opportunity is available to me. I could meet somebody. I could meet the love of my life walking into the grocery store. The more that your brain is going to say, all right, let's start paying attention to this. Let's see who we can meet. Let's see what's going on. This is how you use your own awareness to build the life that you want. Because we're designed to actually find the opportunities. We are designed to shift our state into the type of person who is living that kind of life that you want to be living. How do your habits come into this? Now, this was a mental habit, right? So I want to really quick talk about what a habit loop looks like. So a habit loop is always going to start with a cue. It's like your trigger, and I'll get into this a little bit more here in just a bit. So from there, you go into a routine, and then you get some sort of reward, because we have to have a reward, right? We're human. We have a reward that continues to drive the type of behavior that we're having. So those cues is what I'm talking about in today's episode with your environment. If you wake up each and every day and you have a cue of looking in your mirror and saying, oh, man, I don't feel attractive. I don't like my body. I don't think I feel good in my clothes. There's no way that anybody would ever want me. And I'm not saying this is the only example, right? I'm just kind of using one to paint a picture for you. That environment that you've created for yourself, that habit, that cue, the cue and the routine, is preventing you from being able to meet somebody. And then your brain confirms it to you, which gives you the reward that, yeah, you're not going to meet anybody. The way that you carry yourself when you talk to yourself that way is actually not really putting out into the world that you feel good and that you're approachable, right? And so it all kind of builds on top of each other is what I'm trying to show. When you have body language and behaviors and you're not even paying attention to the opportunities that are available, they're shut off to you. Another way to look at this habit is, let's say that you start every morning grabbing your phone. You roll over, you grab your phone. First thing you do is you open up TikTok. When you open up TikTok, there's an influencer that you really enjoy following, but their life kind of makes you feel bad about your life. So you begin the process of scrolling TikTok, and this influencer comes up and you're like, man, oh my gosh, they went to the gym this morning and then they made themselves this really nice iced coffee, and then they walked outside and now they're doing content, and I'm never going to have that. And I, just don't feel good. Look at their body compared to my body. And then before you know it, you've got about 10 minutes till you're supposed to leave the house to head to work. You jump out of bed, you feel exhausted, you're getting yourself dressed, you look in the mirror and you think, ugh, all right, here we go. Another day, let's do this. So can you recognize what the cue is in that moment? I'm going to pause for about 5 seconds so that you can say it out loud. The cue is waking up and picking up the phone. So starting your day like that is actually really bad for us on many different levels. I'm not going to get into, but especially to start it and begin the process and the habit and the routine of comparing yourself to somebody else and not doing something for you, not starting your day in a way that feels amazing and that you're like, yeah, I'm showing up for myself. And it does not need to be some 2-hour crazy long morning routine. And I'm all for the morning routine, right? You need to do what fits for you. I love having a nice long morning routine. I love starting my day like that. I tend to wake up kind of early, so I have the time to do those things. That's just who I am. But I don't think you should wake yourself up at 4:30 in the morning to start some super long morning routine that leaves you feeling drained. You can start with one small choice. And by making that one small choice, you'll start to make different choices throughout your day. And the more that you make those different choices throughout your day, the more you're shifting your state. And truly, a state is just your identity. And when you start to become identified with somebody who shows up for themselves, who does things for themselves, who loves themselves, who talks nice to themselves, your whole world begins to change. This is what I'm talking about with your environment. I want you to spend today taking a look around your environment. When I say environment, I mean like probably your car, where your place of work is. So like if you have a desk, and your home, which if you need to narrow that down, totally fine. Narrow it down to your bedroom area. So what does your nightstand look like? Do you have one? What does your bed look like? Are you making it each day? And I know that some of this stuff is probably a bit eye rolling. I will share with you that when I got started in this, some of it was, right, where I'm like, why do I have to make my bed every day? I had to make my bed every day growing up. I was an Air Force brat, right? So we had our beds made every day. Don't get me wrong. And so I went through a very long period of my adulthood being like, I'm not making my bed. And now it drives me nuts if I don't make it. It's just this little thing that I do for me. It's not because my dad is going to see it. It's not because my husband's going to be upset with me if I don't make the bed. It's not because I'm worried somebody's going to come in and judge me because I don't care about that, right? It's for me. I like having the bed made. I like to see my room put together like that. And I know that that environment triggers other habits for me. This is what we're building, right? This is what we're talking about in this episode. So when you're doing this countdown to summer and you're looking to change your life, you need to start with the environment and the things and the habits that you're continuing. I guess over the habits that you're continuing, the routines that you're continuing. So just spend a little bit of time today looking around. What is actually driving you to show up more for yourself, to feel better about yourself, to talk better to yourself? And what is kind of continuing the same habits that created the life that you have now that you'd like some changes? And that doesn't mean you want to change everything. When I started this process, one thing that I absolutely loved without a doubt was my family. I am so focused on my family, my children, my spouse, my, in-laws, my parents, my siblings, my nieces and nephews, my in-laws, even, like sister-in-law, brother-in-law. They are so important to me. And I wanted to make sure that I was showing up for them in the best way possible. And I knew that those relationships, although they could somewhat improve, were actually really good, especially the one with my children. My children and I have a phenomenal relationship. That was nothing that I wanted to change in my life. I just wanted to be better for them. I wanted to show them that you can actually create the life that you want to lead, that any dream that they have, they're able to obtain. And I firmly believe that. I think that's going to sound ridiculous when I listen back to my own episode, but I'm going to tell you, I believe in it so much. I want to make sure that this is coming through to you because I firmly believe in your ability to create the life that you love. I firmly believe in my ability to achieve my dreams. I firmly believe in my children's ability to be these remarkable freaking humans living a life that they absolutely love. And I wanted them to see that. I wanted to show up for them. I want to do that for my in-laws. I want to do that for my parents. I want to do that for my family. I want my nieces and nephews to realize that they can do this as well. Trust me, the children in my life, I'm just going to take a little side note here. I don't post them on my social media channels because I'm not comfortable doing it. But the children in my life are so smart, so remarkable, so kind. Every single day that I'm around them, they blow me away with their dedication, their kindness, their thoughtfulness. Just the people that I am around are amazing, and I want to be amazing for them. Right? This is part of it. So I didn't want to change. I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent, but I didn't want to change those parts of my life. But there was other parts I did. I kind of realized that I was driving to and from work about an hour and a half round trip, which I know to some people you're probably like, oh, that's lucky. And this was pre-pandemic. But I realized that I was like, man, I am spending so much of my time away from my family just so I could drive into an office. I have to watch the clock to make sure that I'm working the exact amount of time. If my lunch goes over, I had a boss that would literally text me to find out where I was. And I just knew that there had to be more to life than this. I wanted to feel good in the things that I was doing. I wanted to feel like I was changing the world. And I'll say back then, the job that I was working at, I felt like was very important to the good of the world. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to connect with my passions. I wanted to just I wanted more out of life. And I don't feel bad about that. Although at the time I did, until I started recognizing some of these tools that I could do. And I started to read the Bible in a different way. And I started to realize that God is supporting me in this. Now, of course, I always follow the golden rule: do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. I'm not doing anything that is going to cause harm to somebody else. I firmly believe in that. And that's not to say that I've never hurt others. Sometimes intentionally, like not really intentionally, purposefully, but knowing like this action is not a nice action and I'm still doing it. But sometimes very unintentionally, where I'm like, man, that was not the way that I want to show up. That's not the friend that I want to be. That's not the type of support system that I want to be. That's not the employee that I want to be, the boss that I want to be. So it was okay for me to recognize and become aware of those things in myself that I wanted to change. And there was no shame in it. I will say that was one thing that I had to overcome. I had to truly work on my own self-forgiveness. I had to realize that I could have compassion for the person that was trying to figure things out, that was trying to overcome her own childhood and adulthood trauma so that I could be a better person and that I could help other people become better people. And not better people because of the box that I have for myself. Your version of being a better you is going to look different than my version of being a better me. That's what makes the world so amazing. Like, our diversity is truly our superpower, and I just love it. So today, please take some time. Think about what you want to change in your own life. Think about goals that you have. Think about experiences that you want to have. And then start to look at the habits that you have around those, not only mental, but also physical. What are you doing with your phone? How are you talking to yourself? When you drive into work, how are you spending that time? And what is it doing to you mentally? What is it telling you to focus on and pay attention to? Where are you placing your attention? And then just start to make small shifts in the way that you do that. So a great way to change your environment would be, I'm going to clean out my car. Which, side note, that's something I need to do today. So my car's a hot mess, but I know I need to do that. It makes me feel better, and it makes me show up better as the person that I want to be, my ideal self, the way that I want to present myself and to the world. Maybe you say, you know what, man, my nightstand it just creates like a cycle of me not feeling great as soon as I wake up. So clean off that nightstand today. Take 10 minutes. If you go into your kitchen and you're like, man, my kitchen counter is a hot mess of stuff everywhere, and I just feel overwhelmed when I come down here, take 15 minutes, put on a timer, put on music, a podcast, audiobook, whatever you want. Habit stacking is phenomenal. We'll be talking about that later in the series. But habit stack, put on a timer and say, I'm going to do 15 minutes and I'm going to get this cleaned up. And I'm going to tell myself this is being done because I'm showing up for myself. Whether I feel like I deserve it yet or not, I'm doing it. I'm going to make this change. And those small changes are going to build and build and build and build and build until suddenly one day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, my entire life is different. Everything is different. This is amazing. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, make sure to follow me on my other channels. If you have not left a review on this podcast, please definitely do. It is extremely helpful. If you're listening on YouTube, just give it a like so I know yep, loving this conversation, loving this content. Again, if you have any questions, always can email me, unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. And I will certainly be back, and I wish you nothing but the very absolute best.